Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and welcome to the Primary Care Commissioning Committee for our June meeting. Could we have apologies for absence, please?
Yes, we have apologies from Siobhan O'Neill, from Health Watch, David Steele, NHS England, John Costello from Gateshead Health and Wellbeing Board, Lynn Wilson and Bill Cunliffe.
Thank you. We are still quorate. Are there any declarations of interest not on the register? Okay, we'll move on to item 4, the minutes of the previous meeting. Do you have any observations for accuracy, please? No, so everyone's satisfied that's a true record of the meeting. There are no actions on the actions log, so we'll move straight on to item 6. Jill, you're going to give us an update on the budget.
Okay, and really this is largely finishing off a bit of business from the previous financial year. Normally would have probably brought this a little bit earlier, but last month we focused on the budget for 2021-22, and we had, I think, had an update on the likely outturn kind of in between normal reports in 2021, which kind of set the direction of travel. So this is really just to confirm that the final position on the Primary Care Co-Commissioning budget was an underspend of just under £25,000. You know, various under and overspends, some pressures in some areas which are outlined in the report. And I think, you know, we've touched on some of them where there were going to be some perhaps additional spend in areas when we reviewed the position at around about month 10 or 11. So really just to set that out, clearly we've moved on into this year, so we'll soon be bringing the Q1 report for 2021-22. I didn't really have a great deal to add. I think it's just in line with what we've previously updated.
Any observations, anyone?
Just again, that on a £76 million budget to sort of come in that close to the intended budget is testimony to the sort of expertise of the team, and thanks to Jill and Phil and others for sort of helping us review this budget as we go through the year, and Ros and Philippa as well.
Yeah, you certainly there, Dominic. That's huge thanks to all the team. Not only to the team, I think also to the practice managers who provide information into the team and making sure that they code their activity properly, and all the massive amount of work that goes into contract management. Huge thanks to everyone in what is, you know, been, as we all know, a very difficult year for all those frontline staff who are responsible for that work. So huge thanks to everybody there. I think it's also a testament to good budget preparation, Jill, good forecasting, prudent forecasting, good assumptions, and I'm sure there's lots that can be taken forward when you into the next couple of years as we need to make changes to the way things are done. So thank you very much and well done there.
Okay, thanks. Yep, we'll move on to
any other questions? Everybody happy to accept that report for information? Hiya, Bill. Thank you for joining us. We're moving on to item 7, the risk register. Neil, again, it was item 4 decision, Neil, to receive and note the attached risks.
Yeah, so we went through a process 12 months or so ago where we've kind of allocated the risks on the corporate risk register and assurance framework underneath each of the subcommittees that have responsibility for those risks. So we've agreed that we bring these quarterly in line with the review period for the risks. So we haven't been for a few months, but I guess there's not a lot to report from change-wise, certainly on the scoring of the risks or the number of risks. So we've still got 4 risks on the risk register. Some of them are very kind of wide catch-all risks that, you know, do cover a lot of areas. So I guess the extreme risk we've got on there is around sustainability of primary care, and there are a lot of facets to that that the committee are well aware of. But both Ros and Dominic have had a look at these risks to review them for accuracy and see if there was any updates we need to make to the scoring or controls, which we haven't made many changes. We've noted some changes in some of the controls and actions, but the risks themselves, so like I say, around sustainability of primary care, there's one around utilisation of primary care estates, which again hasn't changed in scoring. It's 12. It's an amber risk. There's a risk around the implementation of primary care networks and where we are with that process, which again I think is appropriate still to have on the risk register, but I guess we're some way down the track with that one now, but we decided to keep that one on there. And there's a risk around, I guess, the reason for the committee being sort of establishing primary care commissioning arrangements, because that's a statutory responsibility of the CCG. So we thought it's a risk we should capture on the risk register, albeit it's managed to a degree that we're comfortable with it. It's a green risk, but something that we probably should have on our risk register, just to demonstrate that we have captured that. So not a lot of change to report to the committee this time round. We will again review these quarterly in line with the review schedule, and I'll work with Dominic and Ros, Philippa and others to make sure that we capture everything we've got that we think that are the main issues for this area of the business. So yeah, we'll bring this here, I guess, for information and just approval that with the committee's comfortable that this is a fair reflection of the major risks for this area of business, and that we can approve them for this reporting period, and we'll bring them back again next time.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, it all makes perfect sense when you read it as somebody who's not working at the coalface. It's whether it makes sense at the coalface and whether the control measures that Dominic's team are able to monitor effectively manage the risk. That's what my audit committee hat would be looking at. So with those kind of questions in that context, have you anything to add, Dominic or Georgina?
I think my only reflection is that firstly, I think it's right and appropriate that the risk around sustainability of primary care remains red. That reflects what we're sort of hearing and seeing in practices. I think there is perhaps maybe some more detail that we could add, perhaps around workforce expansion, because we aren't investing in any workforce expansion in primary care. I think that's part of the difficulties. I think there are some national drivers, and I think the transition to the ICS might also provide additional risks. So there are some things that we can have some impact and control over. There are other things that we can't, but I think it's right that we recognise it as a very serious and red risk. So, but I think we could maybe embellish some of the narrative behind it and some of the reasons for why it's red.
Yeah, thank you. Georgina, anything to add?
No, other than I agree with Dominic. I think that the risk of primary care struggling is massive, so that does need to stay red, definitely.
Yeah.
And there are limits on what we can do.
Yeah.
To support, and we're looking locally at ways of where we would escalate and support with that as well. So there are some solutions going in for that as well to try and mitigate those risks or identify them really early.
Okay, thank you very much. Is the committee happy to approve the risk register in its current form? Okay, thank you very much. Item 8 then. Jackie, how's the COVID vaccination programme going?
It's still going. So we have the trajectory of the 19th of July to have offered 100% or 90% of all those eligible for vaccination vaccines. So we're working towards that. I think in Newcastle we have quite a significant younger population. So we have a job of work to do to meet all of their vaccine requirements. So we've moved from the large scale site to one that is a more distributed in model. We're still using the Eagles to offer regular large clinics, but we're also using a bus which is located 7 days a week in various places, Eldon Square, etc., and is operating a walk-in model. And we have extended the number of community pharmacies that are working with us as well. On top of that, our intention is to also utilise a number of the practices who still perhaps have a number where it's worthwhile offering either open access or appointments within their own practice. We've got a few practices that are prepared to do that for us as well. So slowly but surely moving up the percentage coverage that we've achieved. We hope to be at the same level of the rest of the region by the 19th of July. We've got quite a number of vaccines to deliver over the next 2 or 3 weeks, probably. Okay.
Yeah, quite a number. Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, once again, huge thank you to all the volunteers that are still supporting the vaccination programme, which has been a remarkable effort. Anybody have anything to add? No? Okay. Is there any other business?
Opening the beers. Sitting in front of the telly.
Yes. I'm not sure if the length of the agenda was purposely short, but we seem to have finished in record time. The next meeting is on the 27th of July. Yep, I'm here for that. So I look forward to seeing you all on the 27th of July.
Great.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jeff.
Very much.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.